faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. It is officially game day, and the Niners are facing off against them good old Kansas City Chiefs at Levi Stadium. Some people are saying this is a rematch of the Super Bowl, which technically it is, but I don't look at it like that. I just look at it as this is a different year. You have two different teams. Some players have left, some players are still there. Some players have switched teams. You guys know who I'm talking about. But man, kickoff is about 125, and I'm looking forward to this game. The 49ers are 3-3. The Kansas City Chiefs are 4-2. The Kansas City Chiefs do lead their division. They're first in their division in that AFC West, and we are as well. So it's going to be a very interesting game. The 49ers got a lot of players back on the field. Several guys practiced this week, and multiple guys will be playing this week who did not play last week. So I think that's a definitely a positive sign. Now, the 49ers Rams inactive report should be coming out. It should be already out now. Usually Matt Mayako, 49ers, longtime 49ers writer, usually he sends out the inactive list. So that should be coming out shortly, should be coming out real soon. And I'll make sure I'll update you guys on that. But first thing I wanted to do, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to Jay in the Bay. Hit that bell notification. I do live streams like this all the time, basically every game throughout the season. Pre-game live streams, post-game live streams. You guys can call in on the post-game live streams, and I love interacting with the best fans in the NFL, the faithful, the Niner Empire. There is a lot of buzz with this game. I mean, to mention the 2012 49er reunion, they're back at Levi Stadium today. You got Harbaugh there. You got several of the 49er greats, Alden Smith, Pat Willis. The names, the list continue to go on. And of course, we have to mention running back Christian McCaffrey. And I got to be honest, I was shocked by the move. And, the 49ers were not the only team that was interested in Christian McCaffrey. There were definitely several other teams interested, but a tweet by Don basically stated that, hey, the Rams were very interested in Christian McCaffrey, but it came down to the wire. Let me blow this up so you guys can see it. There we go. So but man, yeah, this was an excellent trade, and I don't mind at all that the 49ers had to use an extra fourth just to seal the deal to pick up Christian McCaffrey. Um, and this show is an interactive show for those that are just tuning in for the first time. I do interact with people in them comments. So make sure you leave your comments in the comment section. And I have a question for you guys. You know, now that Christian McCaffrey will be playing his first game with the 49ers, how many snaps do you anticipate for Christian McCaffrey? Um, and do you think he'll score a touchdown? How many snaps do you think CMC will get today, and will he score a touchdown? I would love to hear your thoughts in them comments. After I go through a little bit of the comments, we'll go through the practice report, and then we'll also we'll also go we'll also talk about after I go through the practice report, we'll also talk about the inactives. We'll do that as well. So let's start off with the comments. We have let's see, we got Deneen. What's good? Deneen says, I missed it. Let's go 49ers. Um, let's see, we got SG Sports Talk. He says, what's good, Jay in the Bay? How you doing today, SG? Hope all is well. I know you're geeked up for the game. SG says, what are your thoughts on the Niners signing Christian McCaffrey from the Carolina Panthers? Man, I was excited about the trade. Honestly, before it happened, there was a rumor going around that, hey, should the Niners be interested in getting Christian McCaffrey? I even put that up on my community tab. I posted a question for you guys. And I was a little skeptical at first because there's no doubt McCaffrey, the last 2 years, he's battled injuries. Why would the 49ers trade for a running back that has battled injuries? But I think there's no question that this trade makes the 49ers better. And for people that say, well, it's too many draft picks, well, for every Dre Greenlaw we draft, for every George Kittle we draft, for every Debo Samuel we draft, there's also a Solomon Thomas. There's a Reuben Foster. There's a Trey Sermon. There's a Jalen Hurd. So we know the draft is a crapshoot. It's a 50-50 chance. I think Kyle Shanahan or really like a 25% chance that the draft pick you get will, I would say, get a second contract with your team, the team that drafts them. So the draft, we know what it is, but the 49ers still have 10 draft picks next season. And, if D'Amico Ryans, I hate to see him go, but he's definitely in line for a head coaching job. If he gets signed by another team, the 49ers will receive more compensation for D'Amico Ryans. So, I applaud Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch for, building a coaching staff, and they have a great ability to develop that coaching staff because we've already seen several guys, McDaniel, Saleh, get head coaching jobs. So I think that's a great problem to have. I know guys are leaving in the offseason, but hey, you cultivate that coaching group, and guys want to come here. Coaches want to come here. They know, hey, I do well. It's shown that they will, get advancements in their career, and that's what it's all about. So overall, I like the move. We're going to be so dynamic on offense with CMC. Who you going to guard? CMC, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle. I mean, the weapons, plenty of weapons, and this will only help the team going forward. And I can't wait to see Trey Lance next year with CMC. So I love the move. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. If I did have a call-in show the night the trade happened, I think that was Thursday night. I think that was Thursday night the trade happened. This week has, yeah, I think it was Thursday night. So yeah, if you haven't, let me know what's your thoughts of the Christian McCaffrey trade. Feel free to let me know. But I love the move. I mean, is anyone not like the move? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. SG Sports Talk gives us his prediction of the game today. He said he has the Niners winning by a final score of 64-15, and I have quarterback Jimmy G throwing for 330 yards, 1 touchdown, and no interceptions. Interesting. Okay, hey man, you are you are very confident with the 49ers winning. So let's see. Looks like Matt Mayoko just gave us the 49ers inactive list. That's weird. I see some names on here that is a little bit surprising. Let me get this list up so the faithful, the Niner Empire can see this list. Let me just get this going. And also, at Levi Stadium today, kickoff is obviously at 1:25. The weather for this game will be immaculate weather. It'll be, I think it's going to be 60 to 63 degrees, no chance of rain, and that's football weather. That's exactly what you want. So the weather will definitely not be an issue. For those that are just tuning in, feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments section. Let me know. How many snaps do you think CMC will get today, and will he score a touchdown today? Because there is a chance that he will play a lot of goal line or red zone snaps. So feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Here are the inactives for the game today, faithful. Running back Jordan Mason. So, Jordan Mason, the undrafted free agent, he had been playing special teams pretty much every game this season. He only had basically one carry in the game, which netted him 7 yards. Obviously, I've heard a lot of people say, hey, let's get Jordan Mason the ball more often. And I agreed with him. But now, with Christian McCaffrey in their CMC, Jordan Mason could be the odd man out because we know that Shanahan loves his vets. That's for sure, and guys who know the system. I was a little bit surprised by cornerback Dante Johnson. He was on the practice squad this week, and he was brought up to the active roster, but for whatever reason, they decided to sit him out. Now, it could be because cornerback Charvarius Ward is active for the game. Now, I had made my prediction. Shout out to the 49ers cutback. I had made my prediction on that channel. And on my show, What's Good with Jay and the Bay. Check it out on the 49ers cutback YouTube channel. But I had made my prediction with the impression that Charvarius Ward would not play. Going up against one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and Pat Mahomes, you're going to need all the healthiest guys you can get, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So I think that's a huge plus for the 49ers to get arguably their best defensive player, no doubt the best corner on this team. And he'll be playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. He'll be playing against his old team. So I know he is very excited to play against his old team. Defensive lineman Kamiko Toure, okay. Defensive lineman Eric Armstead is no surprise. Armstead did not practice all week. And I think that's just going to be – I won't be surprised if he gets put on the 4-week IR, kind of like how Javon Kinlaw did. But, yeah, it sucks for Armstead because he was – we definitely need him in the middle of the defense, especially without Kinlaw. We're very thin inside on the defensive line. Offensive lineman Nick Zakiel, okay. Tight end Tyler Croft is also inactive. Okay. So biggest surprise, Charvarius Ward, he's active, so the groin must be feeling well. And that's your 49ers inactive list. Huge shout out to Matt Mayoko. Appreciate that. Appreciate that information, Matt. And we do have a special announcement. And it's coming from the one, the only George Kittle. George Kittle has something to say, and let's get to it. All right. That was George Kittle in his National Tight End Day promo. Huge shout out to the SF49ers on IG for that video. Man, how are you not fired up after watching that from the people's tight end, George Kittle? He's had some pretty good games versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And, of course, across from him, you'll have tight end Travis Kelce. So that's going to be a very, very interesting game today to watch these two tight ends, the best tight ends at their game and watching them going to work. Hopefully, Travis Kelce won't have a successful game today. Travis Kelce has been playing pretty well so far. He has 7 touchdowns so far. Now, granted, 4 of those touchdowns came against the Las Vegas Raiders. But, for the season, he's got 41 catches, 455 yards. So Travis Kelce, there's no doubt. Travis Kelce is still a beast, and it'll be interesting to see how we're able to combat Travis Kelce in this game. I think that could be one of the keys to victory for the San Francisco 49ers. You got to slow down Travis Kelce. And hopefully we get George Kittle involved early and often in this game as he is recovering from his growing injury. I think every week that goes since he started, I think he's continuing to get back into form, get back into playing shape. And getting back to one of the best tight ends in the NFL. So looking forward to seeing what George Kittle does today in this offense. Let's continue on with these comments. Let's see. SG says the San Francisco 49ers are having a rematch of Super Bowl 54 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Looking forward to a great football game between both of these teams. I completely agree. Completely agree with you there. It's going to be a great matchup between two great teams, and he says may the best team win. I will definitely get into my 5 keys to victory over the Kansas City Chiefs, but that'll be later on in the show. Appreciate the kind words, SG. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, man. We have C in the building. What's good? Appreciate you coming into the stream today, C. Yes, and Charvarius Ward, aka Mooney Ward, is active today. I was surprised by that. I did not think he would play, but hey, I'm looking forward to see him against this Kansas City Chiefs offense, and I think the 49ers defense definitely will be much better with Charvarius Ward at that cornerback spot. There's no doubt about that. Hey, Zeus. What's good? How you doing today, Jesus? He says, saludos. He says he's on his way to the game. Is there anyone else that's currently watching on their way to the game? I would love to know. And I agree with Jesus. Jesus says CMC will be versatile. Absolutely. I mean, the guy can run it. He can catch it. He can line up in the slot, line up in the backfield. I mean, this is a, ideal player for the Shanahan offense, a guy who can do it all. Essentially, you have 2 Debos. Debo, he's a wide receiver. He can play running back. CMC is a running back who can play wide receiver. Man, so it's going to be very interesting to see how the Niners use him today and how many snaps. And for those that are just tuning in, if you haven't answered already, let me know how many snaps you think CMC will get and if he'll score a touchdown. We've already got some answers. So Jesus says about 10 snaps and also 1 touchdown. C says about 20 to 25 snaps, and yes, he scored a touchdown. Okay, and I would say, will he be in? Will he be in on plays when they're not in the red zone? I think that could be a key to this game, because there was a tweet earlier this week basically stating that he'll probably play red zone snaps only. But it also depends on how fast he can pick up the playbook. And I think that'll be determined in this game. If I had to guess, I would say between 10 to 15 snaps, I think CMC will play. And yes, I do think he will get a touchdown. I think it'll be a touchdown catch. That would be my hypothesis. Sean Tuber, what's good? Appreciate you coming into the stream, Sean Tuber. I hope all is well. We also have Randy Daytona in the building. What's good? Randy says, hoping the Niners win, but they are just horrendous on offense right now. The second half offense definitely has left a lot to be desired. We really haven't had a healthy scoring offense in the second half. I think it was either the Carolina or Seattle game. I think there were only 2 games where we scored double figures, and I think those were the 2 games, I believe. And every other game the offense has been sputtering in the second half. Last week against the Falcons, there were missed opportunities for sure. Guys were dropping balls, and we can't afford to do that. I don't think we're that good where we can just miss those opportunities, especially when Jimmy is throwing deep. And we know how often Jimmy throws deep. It's like you could count on one hand the amount of times he'll throw it deep. So when he does throw it deep and he delivers a catchable ball, I mean, the guy's got to execute. The guy's got to, make the play, help out your quarterback. So hopefully, opportunities will come, and hopefully we'll be able to come down with those catches. SG Sports Talk says CMC will have 30 to 35 snaps and he will score a touchdown. Okay. Jesus says ESPN reported that Panthers rejected 2 first rounds for Burns, the edge rusher. Do you think that might have been for the Niners? I think so. Well, we don't have 2 first rounds to offer for Burns. Honestly, we don't have a first round pick next year in the 2023 draft, and in the 2024 draft, I would have to check to see what our draft picks are for that draft, but we don't have 2 first round picks to give. And I would imagine if the Panthers gave up Burns, they're one of their best defenders, They would probably want 2 first rounds next year. They want to get it as, at the nearest draft they can get, which is next year. But yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much tells you that the Panthers, their 3 building blocks, it seems like, is DJ Moore, the wide receiver, and Brian Burns, the edge rusher, and then they also have an interior defensive lineman in Derek Brown. It seems like those are the 3 guys who are their pillars, and they're not letting them go for anything, because to not give up Burns for 2 first-round picks, I mean, that's steep. I mean, that tells me that you want him to be in Carolina for years to come. So that's why they rejected that trade. But I'm glad, as I mentioned earlier in the show, the Rams were interested in getting CMC. Cam Akers with the Rams, they're on the outs. I think he was inactive in last week's game. Clearly, there's, they're not on the same page there, and the Rams needed to get a running back. And they definitely want a CMC, but they offered a second, a third, and a fifth, but the Niners offered that and a 4th-round pick, and that was enough to get it done. So I would rather give up a 4th-round pick in addition than have CMC go to the Rams for the next 3 years, right? I mean, I don't know how you feel, Faithful, but that's plenty enough compensation for me. I'm glad the 49ers made that trade, that's for sure. And C agrees. The 49ers don't have any 1st-round picks. Exactly. Yeah, Sean Tuber says it's just too bad the Niners didn't draft CMC instead of Solomon Thomas. Yeah, going back to that 2017 draft, the Niners did trade back 1 spot with the Chicago Bears, and the Bears took Mitchell Trubisky. Clearly, that didn't work out. We took Solomon Thomas. That didn't work out either. And McCaffrey went 8th overall, so we could have really traded back a few different spots and got McCaffrey. But, hey, he's here now. So, I mean, at the end of the day, that's all that matters, that he's here now. Siegen, what's good? Appreciate you coming into the stream, Siegen. Hope all is well. He says, what's good, Jay and friends? Get that dub. Absolutely. SG says, yeah, that would make sense. That would definitely make sense about Great America being closed. Sean Tuber says that CMC will get at least 20 snaps. Okay. All right. Randy says, and the millions. Sean Tuber, looks like Sean Tuber liked that video from George Kittle. He says, awesome job, George Kittle. Yeah, that was a fire video. Absolutely. Let's see. Randy says, been shooting ourselves in the foot. Hopefully CMC helps us get the gun out of the holster. Yeah, I mean, this is another weapon for the 49ers offense. You can never have too many weapons. And I think with the addition of CMC, I mean, I think this will open up, this will open up the offense for other players. Like, we don't have to have Deebo Samuel. And granted, Deebo Samuel wasn't running the ball that much as he was last year, this year, which I'm happy about. But now he can focus more on being a receiver. Can you imagine Jimmy G in the shotgun with CMC to his left, Deebo to his right? What are the defenses going to do? No, normally when backs are in the shotgun, normally linebackers will cover them. There's no linebacker, I believe, that can cover CMC or Deebo out the backfield. So I think that's a mismatch right there. Also, I just think it'll open up so many, it'll open up so many lanes for George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. Like, it's just another weapon that the defense has to account for. And, now defenders or defensive coordinators are going to be staying up late at night trying to figure out how do we stop CMC. So I think this is a great move for the San Francisco 49ers. And this move is not just it's not like the Emmanuel Sanders trade where it was like a 1-year rental. Like, we have CMC under team control for the next 3 seasons. And, people are talking about the contract. Yeah, he has no guaranteed money left on his deal. So, he's got $12 million will be paid out the next 3 seasons with the 49ers. But I have a feeling the 49ers will restructure that contract. It just makes most sense. We still have to sign a Bosa, of course. Brandon Ayuk will probably be getting an extension, maybe, I don't know, maybe not this offseason, but maybe next offseason, but we'll see what happens. I think he still has a 5th-round year left, the same thing that Bosa has. So I'm sure the 49ers will exercise that. But we know the 49ers and every NFL team, they restructure contracts, they move money around to make the players' cap hits much lower. Let's see. We got Jerome Davis in the building. What's good? Appreciate you coming into the stream, Jerome Davis. Jerome says, I think this is where we finally see the offense come alive and make the league nervous. I agree. I mean, I know some fans weren't fans of the draft compensation that we gave for CMC. I totally get that. But when other teams are mad that the 49ers picked up CMC, that means you did something right. That's what that means to me. Ram fans were crying. Rams fans definitely wanted CMC. I know they're saying now that, oh, you just got an injury-prone player, yada, yada. But the Rams, trust me, the Rams, they wanted CMC. And they didn't get him. And that's another part of the 49ers getting CMC is now he doesn't go to the Rams. I mean, we don't have to worry about facing him for the next 3 years. So, the Rams have made these types of moves mid-season, getting OBJ, trading for Von Miller, and now it's the 49ers' turn. But I saw online people were saying FTP, but I don't think John Lynch feels that way about the draft picks. We value draft picks, but we have made mistakes in getting running backs in the past. Trey Sermon. I think the book is out on TDP. I think he can still play a role in this offense. I think Shanahan will still use multiple running backs on this offense for sure. But TDP, I mean, it's just his first year, right? It's just his first year. But, Joe Williams, Trey Sermon, we've made mistakes drafting running backs in the past. Now we get a star, a legit star. This is the best running back who's ever been in Shanahan's offense in, the red and gold. There's no mistake about that. And I love that it's not a one-year rental. We get him for 3 years. So look at Tisha Edmonds. What's good? Already got her CMC jersey. I see you. Oh, man, that's excellent. Sean Tuber says, what do you think about CMC catching radius? Will Jimmy be accurate enough? From his highlights, he can definitely catch the ball. He catches the ball with his hands like the best wide receivers do. Very good route runner. He can outrun anyone on the field. And man, you look at his numbers, with the Carolina Panthers, his first 3 years in the league, he had over 800 touches. He had a season where he had 1,000 rushing yards, 1,000 receiving yards. So, he can do it all. And I can't wait to see him in this offense, especially I think this week will be modified for CMC, of course. He still has to learn the playbook, get used to the calls. But next week against the Rams, I think it's full throttle. So definitely looking forward to that. Before I continue on with the comments, appreciate everyone tuning into the stream. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, especially hit that thumbs up button if you are excited about CMC being with the Niner Empire. And we are about an hour away from kickoff. We have to talk a little bit about these good old Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs, they are without one of the best offensive players in the NFL in Tyreek Hill. They are without Tyreek Hill, but statistically, they're still playing some of the best football that under Andy Reid. Going through the numbers, let me pull this up real quick. So Pat Mahomes, NFL stats. He is first in touchdown passes this year. I think he's tied for first. He's got like 17 touchdown passes. He's top 3 in QBR, top 3 in quarterback passer rating. So clearly, Tyreek Hill leaving has not really affected this offense. They have other weapons. They got Kelsey. They have MVS, who used to be a wide receiver with the Green Bay Packers. They have Juju Smith-Schuster, who came over from the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have Mecole Hardman, who he's probably as fast or maybe a notch below Tyreek Hill, but he definitely is a speed demon out there on the field. So he's another guy to watch out for. They have a running game, but it's not prolific. It's okay. Another thing about the Chiefs have the best third down conversion among all the other 32 teams in the NFL or 31 teams in the NFL. So what that means is when the Chiefs are on offense and it's a third down, it's basically a 50-50 chance that they'll make that first down. And that is one huge key for me. This 49ers defense is going to have to get off the field on third down. We cannot afford to do what we did last week against the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons last week were, I believe, 9 of 14 on third down conversions. So this defense is healthier than I thought it would be coming into this game. Essentially, every player is playing except Kinlaw, Armstead. We know Aziz isn't playing, and that's it. Every other player on this defense is starting. Bosa, Jimmy Ward, even though he's got the club on his hand. Charvarius Ward will be playing, even though he's got the groin. So, we are relatively healthy. Samson, I know Samson was in and out last week versus the Falcons with the Achilles, but he's going to be playing as well. So, I did make my prediction before. I knew that some of these guys would be playing, but I don't know if my prediction will change, though. I'm still a little skeptical. I mean, this Kansas City Chiefs team is legit. And not only are they really good on third down conversions, they also are one of the top 5 least penalized teams. So not only do they have talent, but they play button-up football. They don't hurt themselves with penalties. And that defensive line they have with Frank Clark, with Chris Jones, it's allowed them to have a top 5 rushing defense. And of course, that's what the 49ers want to do, right? Right, Faithful? The 49ers want to run the football. So it's going to be this obviously is the toughest game on the 49ers schedule so far. This is the toughest, most complete team I think that we've played so far. And I know we've had some blunders against the Bears, against the Broncos, and last week against the Falcons. So how will this team play today in front of the faithful at Levi Stadium? You have the 2012 49ers reunion. They'll be back. They're at Levi's now. It's George Kittle National Tight End Day. So, I think there's a lot of juice. There's a lot of electricity with this game. And how will that translate to the field? And, of course, CMC playing his first game in front of the Niner Empire. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this game comes out. But those are just a little few numbers about the Kansas City Chiefs team. And they're legit. There's no doubt. They're legit. They're going to go deep in the playoffs this year. And, hey, hopefully we meet them in the playoffs, because that means, hey, we'll be in the Super Bowl. So it's going to be a very interesting game. The Chiefs will present a lot of problems for the 49ers, and I think we'll do the same to them, though, as well. Let's get back to these comments. Sean Tuber, what do you think about CMC? Okay, I already did that. The Rocky Mountain Razorback. What's good? Got the GOAT as your avatar. What up, homie? What's good with you, Rocky Mountain? Hope all is well. SG Sports says Christian McCaffrey is going to have 13 carries for 300 rushing yards and a touchdown. Wow, man. Woo. You're going to be ripping and running all over this Chiefs defense. Okay, all right. Hey, you are very optimistic, SG. There's no doubt about that. Randy, Kittle or Juice can release after a little blocking. Should be unstoppable. It's on Kyle and Jimmy now. Can't blame Jimmy forever, though. Yeah, I agree with you, Randy. And I think since the Denver game, I would say Jimmy has played pretty well. I don't think you could really ask him to play better. We know there's going to be some Jimmy oh-no throws in every game. I think you could say that about every quarterback. They throw some that are inaccurate. Jimmy sometimes throws his ball sometimes behind the receiver, sometimes too high. But that's just Jimmy. That's the Jimmy you're going to get. But I love that he's been throwing the ball downfield. I mean, this is a Jimmy where we haven't really seen him do that on a consistent basis. So hopefully that continues today. Hopefully we continue to throw the ball downfield. And I think that will put pressure on the defense to, not just have a one safety look where it's one safety manning, the center field of the field. And if you put 2 safeties back there, then, hey, maybe it'll be easier for us to run the football. But the only way you get a defense to respect your deep ball, you got to throw it deep. You got to throw it deep. And last week, unfortunately, it was not successful, but I still think they need to, throw the ball deep. One name I just thought about when I mentioned throwing the ball deep, one name that was not on the inactive list was wide receiver Danny Gray. Wide receiver Danny Gray was not on the inactive list, so I anticipate that he'll be playing. Um, I believe, I don't think he was even on the injury report this week, Danny Gray. Yeah. So Danny Gray was not on the injury report this week, so he should be good to go. Now, will he get snapped? I mean, look at all this speed that's on the field. Faithful, Danny Gray, CMC, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle. It's weapons galore. Now, will Danny Gray get an opportunity to show what he can do today? Well, he hasn't really been able to get an opportunity so far this year. I don't even has he even been targeted this year? I think so, but it's like basically been a handful. You can count on one hand the amount of times he's been targeted by Jimmy G. But I mean, you have a weapon that you got to use. But I think it's a good sign. At least he's not on the inactive list. He will be inactive today. So hey, maybe maybe we can see Danny Gray in there as well. Jerome Davis, I just hope CMC doesn't break something about these injuries that haunts us. Yeah, I mean that's a that's part of the NFL. It has 100% injury rate. Eventually, you're going to get hurt, but I don't think that's a reason to not make this trade. Um, I just think he presents so many problems for defenses. Like, I'm certainly glad he made the trade, but that's a part of the game. I mean, it's going to happen. It's not if, it's just it's just when. But you can't really worry about that. You just have to go out there and play. Like you can't play scared. You have to go out there and take it. So we have Mariah 49 faithfully. What's good? How you doing today? Hope all is well. SG says CMC should have chosen to wear number 30 to honor Steph Curry, who's one of the greatest three-point shooters in the league right now. Yeah, I think number 30. Does George Odom wear number 30? I think. Yeah, I think George Odom wears number 30. So I don't think he would be able to do that. Well, he would have to buy it off of Odom, but I see what you're saying, man. Steph Curry is a beast, man. There's no doubt about that. And let's see. Yep, yeah, George Odom does wear number 30. Let's see. Rocky Mountain Razorback says the jersey is already out. Yep. Yeah, I mean, he's got 23, and I think the last person I saw wear 23 for the Niners. I remember didn't LaMichael James wear number 23? I think Reggie Bush wore number 23. But obviously he wore 22 with the Carolina Panthers. So, Jeff Wilson Jr. has that number now. But hey, 23, that's a great number. 23, that's definitely a great number. And SG Sports Talk bringing in the history. Yeah, there is a ton of history with the McCaffrey family and the Shanahan family. And SG Sports talks about this right now. He says Christian McCaffrey's dad played college football for Stanford University, just like his son, and earned first-team All-American honors, and he played for the 49ers and Broncos. Yeah, exactly, yeah. He played for the 49ers, I believe, on the Super Bowl team in 94, and he had his best, numbers with the Denver Broncos, and that's where Mike Shanahan was the head coach. So, yeah, man, it's funny how it's a small world and history kind of repeats itself. So, funny how that happens. Bay Area Sports Report says CMC debut. What's good? And I see you got the Stanford avatar. I see you. Jerome Davis, hey, we can hope, right? We can hope that Danny Gray could be used today, and you don't necessarily have to throw it deep to Danny Gray. I mean, you could throw screen passes, you could throw bubble screens, you could do end arounds. I mean, you're telling me Danny Gray can't run a post pattern, he can't run a post corner, he can't run a stop route, he can't run a quick slant. Like I don't know, I just find that hard to believe. But also, Shanahan does expect his receivers to block. And you don't want to just have Danny Gray in there on obvious pass plays, because the defense will key in on that. If Danny Gray isn't in on running plays, and then all of a sudden he comes in, the defense will say, oh, okay, most likely they're passing because Danny Gray isn't in on running plays. So that could be a reason why we haven't seen Danny Gray. But, I mean, you just got to get this guy on the field, man. This guy can make plays. That's what the NFL is all about at the skill position level. It's all about speed, and he is one of the fastest guys in the NFL. So Shanahan, you got to start using them, man. You got to start using them. Bay Area Sports Report Jay says, I can't believe CMC is going to play for my two favorite teams, Stanford and the Niners, in my lifetime. Yeah, man. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible to get a talent like CMC. And it's not, I think one of the best parts about this deal, it's not a one-year rental. We're going to see CMC in the red and gold for the next 3 years with Trey Lance. So I think that's dope, man. I think that's really dope to see CMC for years to come. Got to talk about my keys to victory, and then I'll ask for a prediction from the faithful in this game. So feel free, if you're tuning in, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification, and go ahead and list one key to victory for the San Francisco 49ers. What is one thing the 49ers need to do to beat the Kansas City Chiefs at home at Levi's? Feel free to give me one key to victory for the San Francisco 49ers, and I will definitely read those comments out, and then we'll get predictions for the game. And I will have a post-game show today, just to let everyone know. If you haven't seen, I will have a post-game show. I think it's going to be at 6 p.m. tonight. It will be a call-in show, so feel free to leave your thoughts. You can call in, and those are always really fun shows, but it will be 6 p.m. tonight, of course, on the Jay and the Bay YouTube channel. Let's start off with my first key to victory for the Niner Empire. Number one, got to contain Pat Mahomes. Last week versus the Atlanta Falcons, there were 3 big plays I thought they had, and they all involved Mariota. One play was a long third down. I think it was 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13. I don't know how you don't have a QB spy on this guy, but Mariota scampered for more than 13 yards to get a first down. We definitely have to have a QB spy on Pat Mahomes. We also have to keep contained. What do you mean, Jay and the Bay? What are you talking about? Keep contained. For the last defender on the line, and usually it's either your edge rusher, so either Samson, Nick Bosa, or it could be a corner. That person, whenever Pat Mahomes is in the pistol, in the shotgun, whatever, and he does the read option. So the read is the quarterback is reading the last defender on the line. What is he reading? He's reading to see if that edge defender will run to the running back or if he stops and sets the edge. That's what Pat Mahomes is reading. So on that read option, he's faking it to the back. That's what he's reading the edge defender. If the edge defender crashes, meaning runs toward the running back, Pat Mahomes will keep the ball and he will run outside. That's what you don't want to do as a defender. The defender, now let me be clear. You can do that, but you can't be the last defender on the outside. You can crash, but there needs to be a defender beside you who's setting the edge. It's either one of the two. If the edge rusher crashes and attempts to tackle the running back, there needs to be another defender on the outside. Now, what we saw last week against Atlanta, that wasn't the case. The edge defender would crash the running back, but then there would be no one on the outside, and Mariota would scamper for whatever, 10 to 15 yards, whatever. So if there's no outside defender besides the edge rusher, that's fine. But the edge rusher cannot crash and go after the running back. It has to set the edge and read Pat Mahomes. If the edge rusher reads Pat Mahomes and does not crash the running back, then Pat Mahomes in that read option, he'll just give the ball to the running back, and the running back will run up the middle. That's what the 49ers defense need to do, and that's how you contain Pat Mahomes. With the quarterback spy, and the edge rusher needs not to crash the running back on read option plays. This is something that Samson has done, Charles Omenihu has done, and they haven't had proper technique Samuel Womack allowed a touchdown last week because they didn't have proper technique. All they have to do is set the edge. And I know they want to rush after the quarterback. I get it. But on those read option plays, to prevent the big play, they have to play fundamental football and not and keep contained. And the way you keep contained is you got to set the edge. So hopefully we'll see that. And hopefully I won't be yelling at my TV today, because that's something that it's something that's so simple. And if you don't do it, it allows big plays for the quarterback to make with his legs. So I know this is a long one, but you got to contain Pat Mahomes. You got to contain him. Can't allow him to make big plays by running. You got to play fundamental football. Quarterback spy and set the edge. That's what you got to do. Let's see. Let's see if there's anyone who has keys to the game in the comments. Let me just scroll through this. No. So feel free if you have any keys to the game. I'm not sure why my camera is doing that right now. Hopefully it doesn't show, but for some reason the camera is doing that. I don't know why. Hopefully it'll fix itself. But that's my number one key. My number one key is contain Pat Mahomes. Number two, you got to score touchdowns, not field goals. We're not going to beat this Kansas City Chiefs by scoring multiple field goals. We're going to have to score touchdowns. Make no mistake about it. This is a high-powered Kansas City Chiefs offense. I don't care if they don't have Tyreek Hill. They still have other weapons, and they're still a very, very highly ranked offense in the NFL. So we got to score touchdowns, not field goals. Number three, my number three key to victory for the 49ers. Last week, our pass run ratio was 41-16. That's terrible. That's not a recipe for success for this Kyle Shanahan offense. We have to, I would say, let's say if there are 60 plays on offense, I think at least 35 need to be running plays, at least. 35 runs, 25 passes. That needs to be the pass run ratio for this team. I don't care. I know CMC can run. Debo can run. Jeff Wilson Jr., Tevin Coleman, they can run TDP, but we definitely need to run the ball, win the time of possession, convert on third down, and keep the ball away from Pat Mahomes and the offense. My number four key to the game is a spark. And I think that spark, when I originally made this list, my spark was Danny Gray and Jordan Mason. Now it's CMC. So I think this offense needed a spark. I think we're going to get it today from CMC. We're going to get it because it's National Tight End Day. We're going to get it because we're at Levi Stadium in front of the best fans in the NFL, the Niner Empire. We're going to get a spark because it's Harbaugh's back in the building along with other 2012 great players. So this team needs a spark, and I think we're playing the Chiefs at the right time at Levi Stadium. Number five, we got to block, faithful. After I do this, feel free to leave your predictions for the game in them comments. Feel free to let me know who you think is going to win. Give me a score. And after I do my last key, I'll give you my score. So number five, block. It's going to be very, very important. Frank Clark, excellent edge rusher. If he lines up against Trent Williams, I'm fine. If he lines up against Mike McGlinchey, that could be a problem. Mike McGlinchey did leave the game last week, but he is active for today. Mike McGlinchey will play at that right tackle spot. Watch out for that matchup. Mike McGlinchey versus Frank Clark. He's an excellent edge rusher. Also, Chris Jones. We know what Chris Jones can do. Chris Jones can create havoc. If he's lined up across from Jake Brendel, now, the Chiefs defensive coordinator, they move Chris Jones around. He's had snaps at the edge rushing position on both sides. Chris Jones also has snaps inside. Now, inside, I mean, I like Banks. Banks hasn't given up a sack all year. I don't think Burford has either. I don't think they've given up any sack either. So I think they should be good. Now, Brendel has struggled a little bit, and I think Chris Jones against Brendel, that's going to be an interesting matchup to watch out for. But can this 49ers offensive line block the Kansas City Chiefs defensive line? I think that's going to be a huge key in this game. But those are my 5 keys to victory for the 49ers. You got to contain Pat Mahomes. You got to score touchdowns, not field goals. We got to have a good run to pass ratio. I'm saying 35 runs, 25 passes. I think we got to have a spark on this offense. I think CMC and the Niner Empire will provide that. And of course, we got to block. Let's see if there's any. Let's see. Randy says my blood pressure going to skyrocket in about an hour for 3 hours. Every Sunday is a gamble. Yeah, I agree, man. It's going to be a hectic game today, going up against one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. We have Biz and Pups in the building. What's good? He says, "Bang bang Niner gang. Love your content, but appreciate the kind words, man. I appreciate that." Let's see. Feel free, continue your score predictions in the comments section. I would love to know who you guys have winning this game and the score. So when I originally made my score prediction, I made it before we traded for CMC and before I knew Mooney Ward would be playing. So, man, my only issue is, can the 49ers defense get off the field on third down? That's my huge issue. And the Chiefs are one of the best third down teams in the NFL. I would feel much more confident in this team if we had Emmanuel Mosley back there. I think it's either going to be Demo Lenore or Sammy Womack playing that outside corner opposite of Mooney Ward. They leave a little bit to be desired. I think this will be a closer game now, but honestly, I think the Chiefs are going to win this game. And it hurts me to say that, but I think the Chiefs are a little bit better. And I think, hey, if you tell me if the Chiefs have, let's say, 14 third down plays, right? And if the Niners can hold the Chiefs to about a 30% conversion rate, I think the 49ers have a great chance to win. But the Chiefs have the ability to convert on third down and to keep your defense out on the field and to keep that offense rolling. So I think the Chiefs are going to win. I'm going to say 27-23. And, I hope I'm wrong. I tell you that. I definitely hope I'm wrong, but I think the Chiefs are a little bit better. And but I'm intrigued to see. I'm geeked up to see CMC in the red and gold. Can't wait to see how he's integrated in this offense. I'm looking forward to seeing Bosa back on the field, Mooney Ward, the big silver back in Trent Williams. We got a lot of guys back, so I'm intrigued to see how this game will play out, but it's going to be a very, very intriguing game. We got 14 hours, 49ers. What's good? 14 hours says, what's up? I got Niners upset. Okay. He's got the Niners winning. Okay. What score you got? 14 hours. SG Sports says the Niners will win. Randy says, I'm sticking with 44-13 KC. I hope I'm wrong. You think we're going to get blown up by that much, Randy? Come on, Randy. Oh, man. SG says he's got Pat Mahomes throwing for 80 yards, no touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Wow. Okay. SG says the 49ers are going to pressure Mahomes. Okay. All right, man. Hey, I guess we will see. Huge shout out to everyone watching Jay and the Bay Facebook, Jay and the Bay YouTube, Jay and the Bay Twitter. I also have TikTok. You can follow me on all social media platforms. Just look for Jay in the Bay. Appreciate everyone who joined me for the pre-game show. I will have a post-game show tonight at 6 p.m. It will be a call-in show. Feel free to call in, and we'll talk about the outcome of the game and what led to either a win or loss for the 49ers. And we will have a straight out of the Bay show as well, and that's every Monday night, usually around 8:15 or right after the Monday night game. And that's where myself, Celts Chronicles, Amin the Dream, Bay Area Baller 18 get together, and we talk about the latest 49ers game and 49ers news. So feel free to join us tomorrow and tonight as well. So thanks. Appreciate everyone who came out. Looking forward to this game. We are about 35 minutes from kickoff. So I can't wait. Go Niners. I hope I'm wrong, but I think the Chiefs will win. But hey, you never know. Randy says no Armstead or Kinlaw, hobbled Wars and Bosa. I worry. I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. And we're playing against one of the best offenses in the NFL, one of the best quarterbacks. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I hope I'm wrong, but I think the Chiefs will win. But appreciate everyone who came out tonight or today. Feel free to hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification before you head on out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Go Niners.